Scarcity is a mentality. Poverty is a mentality. Lack is a mentality. Not having is a mentality. Brokenness is a mentality. I don't care what you got to say to me. I don't care what system you may bring up, what institution may exist. When it's all said and done, these are mentalities. These are mindsets. These are ways of thinking and believing. And so long as we feed into those belief systems, we will continue to get those results. Now, there are individuals who hear this message and they are immediately triggered off the top. As soon as they hear the word poverty, they hear the word scarcity, they are triggered, right? They step into that social justice hat, social justice veneer, the entire look, they're draped in it. Right? All of a sudden, they morph into this sort of superhero, this vigilante who's going to stand up for the rights of people when in truth, all they're doing is standing up for their own limitation. Now, I came from a country who is currently experiencing 80% unemployment, Zimbabwe, right? A place where there was beauty, there was majesty in those lands, the place that was prospering and they knew of their prosperity. But over the generations, we've come to a place where we believe more in the struggle, more in poverty than we have in abundance, in wealth, in prosperity. Now, again, we can say this is due to institutions, this is due to X, Y, and Z. Yet, there were periods of time when the people were shifting their own level of consciousness, when people were taking life into their own hands as opposed to giving it away to whoever may have been in charge and creating something of their lives. And there are people still doing this to this very day. There are people all over that country who come from the very same circumstances and conditions that are making something of themselves. So we have these individuals, a majority of the world right now, and I know it's shifting, I know it's changing, but who want to see the world from a victim lens. We want to see the world as, but you don't understand. It's them who did this. You know, I put out a short. It was like 6 signs of a scarcity mentality or something like that. And I talked about poverty in one of them. And immediately I was pinned as an agent of white supremacy. And I almost wanted to explain to this person because I wasn't fully in the place of zero people pleasing in my blood, right? I still felt like I needed to explain myself in some shape or form. But I didn't because I said, you know what? This person is simply seeing what they want to see. They want to remain in their victim mentality and they would do anything to defend it. Nothing I can say to them right now is going to strip that thing from them, right? And that's the thing. When we find ourselves in a situation or in a circumstance that we believe we have no power over, or we believe that we don't deserve to be out of, like if you believe you deserve poverty, you believe you deserve to be broke, you believe that you don't deserve any better, you will perpetuate that narrative continuously and you will project your insecurities onto those who have anything that you actually desire. I remember me, I used to look at people, rolled up in their Lamborghinis because I was, living in the Bay Area for a majority of my life, at least up until this point, right? Um, and you would see people roll up in the Lambos and the Ventadors and this one and that one, the Diablos. And, I would think to myself, oh, they must be so full of themselves. They must be this type of person. I bet they're selling drugs. Like there was always all these preconceived assumptions because of the car they were driving. And I couldn't even realize that I was the judgmental one. They weren't looking at me like, oh, I bet he's this, I bet he's that. I don't know what they were thinking. They probably weren't thinking much about me at all, if anything, right? They were in their own world. But yet here I was judging them on the basis of a material item. Whereas when I see somebody in a Hyundai, somebody in a Toyota, right? If I see somebody in a Mitsubishi, in a Subaru, if I see somebody in a car like that, I'm not thinking to myself, wow, they must be the terrible person. They must be selling dope. They must be doing X, Y, and Z. I'm not judging them because I'm not really judging the car. I'm judging what it represents. I'm judging that person's way of life, that person's possible abundance that I desired, I wish I had, but don't believe that I deserve. That's what that's about. And if y'all know me, you know this. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to tell the truth. And the truth is scarcity, poverty, lack, not enoughness is a psychology. It's a mentality. It's a belief system that we buy into and we opt into. And we can continue to preserve by defending it. Most people would defend it for their entire lives. They will fight to keep it in place because they believe it is serving them in some way. They don't do it consciously in most cases, right? It's very subconscious, but it's on autopilot. Yet, when I finally realized that I was doing the exact same thing, I had a choice to make, right? I had a choice. Do I keep it or do I let go of it? Now I knew that if I kept that mentality, people would support my perspective. They would support my view of life, right? I would be cheered on by the quote unquote masses. People would see me as a hero for the people because I wouldn't be rubbing them the wrong way. I wouldn't be bringing up insecurities in them. I wouldn't be getting them out of their comfort zone. I would be keeping them exactly where they were. So I knew that if I kept that mentality, if I kept that scarcity, that poverty mentality, whatever it was, and I kept perpetuating it, and I kept speaking and vocalizing it, and I kept it within myself as well as external, oh man, I would get all the praise in the world. Everybody would be patting me on the back. But as soon as I made a decision to step out of that and to actually step into an abundance mentality, which is the most natural thing for a human, it might not be the norm because, again, most of the world has accepted madness. We've accepted deprivation. We've accepted misery as opposed to the abundance of life. But nevertheless, I knew that once I made a decision to accept abundance, to accept prosperity, to accept growth and expansion, I knew immediately that there are going to be individuals out there who will attack that mentality because, again, it is a trigger to their own insecurity. It is a trigger to their belief that they're inadequate, not deserving. So to see somebody who has it is almost putting like this, it's putting a spotlight within that space of their life. It's putting a spotlight within that very psychology that they're holding, within that story they're telling themselves. Right? They're telling themselves life is hard. You can't make it. You can't do anything. Everything's going to hell. They're telling themselves these stories. And then they see somebody who came from the very same environment, God forbid. They see somebody from the very same environment prospering and they have to attribute it to something else. Right? Or they got to find a way to hate on it in some way. And the hate is actually coming from a place of desire. They're actually coming from a place of they want it. Envy is wanting what the other person has from a warped perception. And jealousy is not wanting the other person to have what they have. Jealousy is when you say, I don't want you to have that because I don't have it. Envy is saying, damn, I don't have it. I wish I had what you had, right? Both of those are warped. The real desire underlies all of that. The real desire is, damn, I want that. I desire whatever that is, that emotional experience that you're having, that state of consciousness that you're experiencing, whether it's abundance, whether it's love, whether it's health and vibrance and harmony, whatever it may be. When we see something we desire, that's what's actually calling from us. It's only our warped perception. It's only when the ego steps in when we say, oh, you bad, me good, right? That's a self-preservation mechanism that we use. So you could use all the fanciest words. I done heard it all. Systematic, this, these institutions, this is the reason, that's what we can use any and all of it. But I've come from true circumstances where I've seen people literally rise up from the actual ashes. I'm talking about ashes. You understand me? Where there's nothing. You can't go down the street and there's a change of environment. You can't go somewhere and somebody's handing you some type of opportunity or has an opportunity there in the first place. You literally had to dig your own ditch. You literally had to build your own building. There wasn't a place to lease. You had to create your own world. And there were people who stepped out in those environments are the most successful within this environment here, are the most successful globally because they made a conscious decision to stop being a victim within their own narrative. And that's the only way out, y'all. That's the only way out of this scarcity, this poverty mentality. There's no other route besides here. There's no other route besides here. It is all internal. And we have to accept the power that is within ourselves. Now, again, this is a choice. You don't have to. You can stay exactly where you are and keep getting the very same result. You can keep defending where you are. You can keep playing that narrative over and over. You can keep playing the story over and over. I recently this morning I recorded a video speaking on limitations and how we defend and fight for our limitations. And we're the ones who keep the limitations in place for whatever given reason. Like for me, I kept it in place because it served me in people pleasing, right? Because I believed that I was not adequate enough by myself. I would go out and seek external validation. And so I would need people to like me, need people to perceive me and see me in a certain way. And so I understood that if I carry the same belief systems as them, especially about, some of these touchier subjects, whether it was religion, whether it was politics, money, morality, whatever it was, whatever I could get my hands on, a sports team, I don't care, whatever I could use to get you to see me good, to see me in a positive light, quote unquote positive light. So long as I could get your validation or acceptance, which was obviously selfish, people pleasing always is the most selfish act in the most literal sense, right? Because I'm also manipulating in order to get what I want from you. As long as I was doing that, I was able to keep that perpetual flow of external validation. As long as I kept those limiting beliefs, as long as I kept repeating those limitations. But as soon as I stepped out of it, now I was liable to have people Not mess with me no more. Oh, he's unrelatable. Oh, he doesn't understand the struggle. He's not black enough. He's not this. I done heard it all by this point. And again, that's why I'm also come to a point where I don't give a damn. I really don't care. I don't care what you got to say to me because I'm here for the ones who want to be free. You understand me? I'm here for the person who desires to be free more than anything else. That's all you care about. You don't care about what any Tom, Dick, and Harry has to say about you. You care about your freedom to live your life in fulfillment. And we also understand on this side that when you do so, everybody else benefits. I don't care what you got to say about a Jeff Bezos. I don't care. That man is employing 1 million people in this country. So you can say what you want. You can say, oh, the person who is driving the car, who's driving the truck is complaining about what they're getting paid. Yet the reason they have that job, the reason that job exists is because that individual made a sacrifice 25 years ago in order for that truck to even exist, in order for that route to even exist for them, right? In order for the business to be on the other side. And yet we have the audacity to continuously complain and put ourselves in a victimhood mentality. And I'm done with it. I really am, yo. I'm dizzy, done with it. Because I was done with it for me. I'm not judging the next person. I'm not saying, if you're choosing poverty, you're a terrible person, that anything should happen. I'm just saying, look, you choose your own life experience and that's all there is to it. And so long as you pretend that it is otherwise, you will suffer. So long as you continue to defend the limitations, it is going to be suffering. There is going to be no other way out for you. You are a prisoner of your own captivity. You have the keys. You are the prison warden. You are the prison guard. But you're inside with the key in your hand talking about, I can't believe I'm locked up. Can't believe I'm in prison. Again, you're probably doing it just like I was doing it for attention. Because most people use this as a means of attention. You understand? It's a popular narrative and it's going to get people to pat you on the back. It's going to get a whole bunch of people to like you. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to be impactful. All right. I'm here to say, look, like Harriet Tubman, she walked up on that plantation and said, look, I know the way to freedom. And if you don't want it, you don't have to get it. We ain't got to be cool. We don't have to be friends. I am on a mission here. I'm on a mission to make sure you have your freedom. Because to be liked, that's phony. That's neither here or there. But to be free, that is lifetime. You will forever be free. Once you open your eyes to the reality of life, once you step into that reality and you start to live in accordance with that reality, nothing can be taken away from you because now you have everything. Nobody can control you. Nobody has power over you. Nobody has authority over you. You are the source of your own power. You are the generator itself. You're connected directly to source. And you remember that life is abundance. Life is perpetual, consistent, and absolute abundance, and it always will be. Everything in life is produced in abundance. From the leaves on a tree will continue to produce forever. The fruit that may fall from a tree will reproduce itself. It's going to have so much abundance, it's going to get rid of a whole bunch. It's going to get rid of more than it actually feeds to the birds and other animals that's supposed to be eating those foods. And then boom, they fall to the ground. Boom, they create more trees, and boom, you have more abundance. Within ourselves, 3.9 million cells generated in the body every second. 3.9 million cells every single second. If that ain't abundance, I don't know what is. Like I said in one video, if you have $3.9 million transferred into your bank every single second, wouldn't you think that was abundance and prosperity? Wouldn't you think that was, a surefire sign of wealth? Yet that is a surefire sign of health in the body. Why would it not be health within your own personal prosperity, within your own personal bank account? We have to step out of this mentality if we're going to free ourselves. We have to. There's no other way. The only way is in. Period. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Make sure to plug my book before I jet ski up out of here. What time is it? It is 7:53 my time. So yeah, I'm about to jet ski and get into some of this. Get yourself a copy of my first published book, Doing Me Guilt-Free, Breaking Free from People Pleasing. Lord have mercy. This is everything and every other thing. This is a lifetime investment, right? I don't care if you're 7 or 700 years old. This is a book you will need throughout a lifetime. Breaking free from people pleasing and stepping into your true personal power. And get yourself a copy by clicking the link in the description below, the only link in the description below, because I'm straight to it. Till the next time, namaste, namasko.